So you've probably seen other YouTubers talk about using Turo to pay for their cars. Or you may have seen videos trying to sell you a course teaching you the ins and outs of Turo to teach you how to own a car by using the Turo income to pay for the car. As a host who made over $100,000 sharing my car, I do want to just warn everybody who's thinking about doing this in order to afford the car that they really want. So before you start sharing your car on Turo or giving your time to Uber or Lyft driving for these apps, I really want to warn you guys that it is not as easy as it seems. I'm sure you've seen the strikes and the protests of Uber or Lyft squeezing the money out of every single fare that they could and screwing over the worker. So I've been hosting on Turo for the past 3 years, doing over 1,000 trips, and I've seen the difference from 3 years ago till today. Turo keeps trying to squeeze hosts for more and more of their cut. So basically, Turo works like this. You have a host put their car up on the website. After deciding on a price, a renter can decide to rent for that price. Turo will take a cut of that transaction amount to provide services and insurance for the host should anything happen. So this system was actually going pretty well for me. When I first started with Turo, they started off with a 25% deduction. So Turo would take 25% off of my daily price, and that would go towards running the service and my protection plan. Just last year, they dropped it down to 70%. So I would only get 70% of the earnings. And next month for a non-deductible insurance plan, they're gonna be taking 40%, leaving me with just 60% of the earnings. You can see how if you were to finance a car and you had all the numbers ran for taking home 70% of the profit and renting it out for a certain number of days, that Turo is gonna change that on you in no time. In just a year, you drop your income from taking home 75% of the trip down to only 60% of the trip. And that is why I cannot recommend you use Turo to rent out your car that you couldn't afford. So basically, if you can afford a car and you can put it on Turo, make some extra money, I'm all good with that if you can afford it. But if you cannot afford a car, let's say you really want that new Tesla Model Y. You really want it, it's awesome, but it's just a little too expensive. But you can use Turo to pay for it. Well, once you start incorporating Turo income into your plan to pay for the car, that's when there's issues because Turo can change the policy at any time and screw you over. So I just want to throw this warning out there that if you cannot afford a car, please don't finance and get the car anyways thinking you can use Turo to help pay for it. At any point, Turo can just increase their fees and you wouldn't know what to do because you can't make your payment now. And now you would have to drop your price in order to get more rentals, in order to make up for the lost revenue, in order to make your payment. And then you get to drive the car less, it depreciates the car more because it's being rented out more, and it could just be this whole going down the rabbit hole thing. Another thing you're not thinking about is that if a pandemic hits or if a second wave really picks up of this disease that we're going through, that a lot of people might lose their job. If they lose their job and can't afford their car payments, they might throw their car on Turo. Now, what does that do? That raises the supply, that decreases the demand, and then you would have to lower your price, and then we're going through that whole cycle again. Another reason why you want to think twice before you put your car on Turo is that you have to be ready for that car to never come back whenever it leaves your site, right? So that's the reason why we have that protection plan. If the car gets totaled, you are covered. Turo is going to pay you for the actual cash value of the car. That means it's a little bit below Kelley Blue Book value. It's what the actual cash value is. There's been plenty of situations that I can use and plenty of examples where you see owners very unhappy about their payout. Now, keep in mind, your car will get dinged up. So if you're getting a really nice car, you're getting a brand new Tesla Model Y and you're putting the ceramic coat on it, you're putting the paint protection film on it, and you're expecting it to stay pristine, I got news for you. It is not staying pristine. You're gonna get cars that are smoked in, that have pet hair in them, and sure, Turo will reimburse you for cleaning fees, but sometimes your car will just feel so violated that a cleaning fee is just really not gonna make it right. Now, Turo is a great way to make some side income. I've used it as a host for about 3 years now, doing over 1,200 trips. It's been a great business for me, but with all of these changing rules and increase in fees, I'm actually downsizing my own fleet. Using Turo to make money from my Tesla was actually a really great way to offset my depreciation and expenses for the car, and it actually allowed me to beat the cost of depreciation and thus basically pay for itself for 2 years before I traded it in. But with all of these recent changes in the company, it is really difficult to make the decision to buy a car, to put it on Turo with the thought of having Turo pay for the car. It's really hard to do, and especially with these increased fees, almost impossible in my book. Now, I will be doing a video detailing exactly how much I made from car sharing. I did get my Tesla Model 3 completely paid for 2 years. I traded it in and I actually made some money on the car, getting a free upgrade from a rear-wheel drive Model 3 to an all-wheel drive Model 3. You can see that video in the link right here. I'll go ahead and post that up. But I'll have a video coming up soon about how I used Get Around, Turo, and Ride to pay for the car and completely pay it off for 2 years. I just want to say that it was a combination of car sharing and government incentives that paid off the car, not just car sharing. Stay tuned for that video. If you enjoyed the content, like and subscribe. Have a great day.